Okay, so like I was saying, I had the recording stopped because I ran out of time. So I have to start again. So I recognise the baldy guy, I recognise this guy, and this one here seems familiar too. So this guy here with the black, they've actually operated these same crimes here. So I'm wanting these people investigated. It is a formal complaint I'm making against all of these people for complicity in the same offences that have been committed against me here in Scotland at 13 flat 6 Harry Smith Place, Edinburgh, EH75PE, Scotland. Okay, I'm ordering an investigation into all of these people and for corruption for the Crown Office and police, not just Police Scotland, but all of the UK. Crown Office, judiciary, magistrates, everything, police, councillors, MSPs, MPs, and MEPs, because they were active back then, including Nigel Farage and I don't know if he's Asian, but also the Labour Party members in the Scottish Parliament and SNP Sturgeon and others. Now, there was something that popped up, okay? Something popped up again. I think it was yesterday. It's to do with, might have something to do with, yeah, it does have something to do with the tapes. So let's just go to that. And it'll be in my history. Right here, and I believe it's Amazon. And that is it there, Neil Hopper. Okay, so it's not only him that's familiar. It could be a family resemblance, could be something else, but it could be that very same person. Now, I've had problems with what they call phlebotomist. I don't know what that means, but I was told it's someone that knows about blood and blood circulation. And I was being abused by one of them. So even the way he laughs is known to me. She's kind of familiar too. And I have watched it, but I feel I'm on the second episode, and there's even stuff about the victims that's familiar. Although, to my knowledge, you don't actually get to see them. There is one victim at least that's familiar, alleged victim, but he is definitely familiar, Hopper, and it was. These two are very familiar. It's because you're not allowing them. Um, you're not allowing these people to lead a normal life. You see, you want them to be like everyone else, but you're not allowing them to do that. They should be made to go to a community, and I'm saying for their own protection, and only via that means the protection of others. So if you're not allowing these people the right to reintegrate themselves into the public where they have served their time, which I believe this one had. You see, he's just not coping because he's no longer accepted. He will have been, say, like the Crays and that, he will have been accepted by them. If he's one of the pedophiles, if he was with the pedophiles from the the British Armed Services and polices and all that, and he was a murderer for these people as well. He would slot in, they would slot him in right nice, and he'd be fine. You see, in France, they look after their veterans as well. Even if they go off the rails, they do tend to do stuff for them. You know, make sure that they get back into society. But here, well, you're just another opportunity. It's like, hey, go and do this for me. You know, we're going to make sure you don't get anywhere. Well, that's what they were doing with me when I was a child. And I'd never, ever done a single thing wrong to anybody. The only thing I did that was wrong in their eyes is I complained about being sexually abused. And this business with the guy in Yorkshire, the Hull arsonist, I'll do a little set. I don't think that's the one. He's visually familiar, but he doesn't necessarily have to be the same person. But what I will say is that it's this kind of ethnicity, because there are a lot of people with this skin color and hair and basic face form here, and he's obviously, I would say he's healthy. He's got a lot of exercise and maybe goes to a gym and runs, so he's got that full kind of face, you know. So you will see that's quite common, and they are the most favoured partners of unscrupulous women. You know, the other side of that manosphere thing, the split arsehole sphere. This is another one. I'm surprised I'm getting to see this again, or is it a different one? That's something else. I thought it was the same one. Okay. So there's the Andrew Tate business, and I've shown you the amputee guy, and that was known to me anyway. That's why when I see these things, I struggle to believe they're real. Which is, how could I know these people? But I do. See, they won't do anything for me because I'm bringing police officers, councillors, MPs, MEPs, and MSPs to justice, and lords and ladies, old and new, and they don't want that, you see, and Crown Office officials and so on, social workers. So he's forced to go back to stealing. I mean, look, he's being filmed. Like somebody's come in and filmed him at the same fucking time. That tells you, doesn't it? It's like, go and film. I want to see you rob this shop whilst you're on camera. You see, they're being released, but they're being released into nothing. They have to be sent somewhere where they have a support in the community. If they don't have that support, like I never have, you are obliged to put them into a community where they will have that. But it won't be a permanent place. It'll have to be then moved again to another place, another community with people even better suited for them. And I'm thinking about suitors there as well. Not the type of people, but the family name Suitor. And Sewells. There's quite a lot of them. And Peter Elliott as well. But he's not the only one. I think he's the one that wants to carry the can, because Stanley still finds Terry Wakeland, Nigel Farage, and his ethnic minority backers. That's Farage's backers, ethnic minority, which will be a huge surprise to a lot of people. I mean, he was coming out as being a person uniquely for the white people, and then bam, I started exposing the fact that this guy is visiting um, hostels for asylum seekers, and I'm recognizing a lot of these so-called asylum seekers as people with military training. Okay, and yeah, you do need to stop bringing people like that in, because they're here for other purposes. In fact, they could even have originated here in the UK, and they're part of the training and relocation process of military units. And they're not all foreign immigrants. They're potentially, I know some of them have, but some others are potentially from the UK and European Union themselves. In other words, they're from the colonies and they immigrated and they're naturalised. So in other words, they're legally entitled to be here, but they give them a fake passport or credentials that make it look the other way around. And that's basically the same as Gladio, as they said to me, Gladio and so on. So I get fed a lot of information as well, but a lot of it, if I recognise someone, they come forward and say, "Yeah, I was with you in the foreign lead." I said, "Well, I was abducted. I wasn't a volunteer." You see, so these two are definitely known to me. So I have to go and find that again. Yeah, found it.
More than 3,000 people have signed it.
So that's what I was trying to say. That they've done this here, not just in the flats I live in. I don't know which one, but we have a shared flue. We have a flue that's shared. And I noticed a lot of cannabis vapors were coming into my kitchen. I thought I had smelly feet. It smells like cat's piss. But it was getting me high and delirious and all that. I didn't know what I was doing and so on. And interfering with my health, my general well-being overall. I was coughing up blood as well. So they were doing far worse than just growing cannabis here and using cannabis actually as well. But they knew there was a factory around here. And this is what I think I'm seeing here, members of that criminal enterprise right here. So they're talking about a child actually. I just noticed that. I thought we were still on the Harper business, but here there's a child involved. So yeah, it's still manslaughter, but if there's a separate issue but still relating to that same person, then he would have to be tried separately and prosecuted for that because it is a criminal enterprise and it's not quite simply a case of manslaughter. So it's like I defended myself from being murdered when I was still a teenager and an involuntary member of a secret unit. Well, a unit that is publicly known, but it's involved in a lot of secret activities and criminal and activities contrary to the Human Rights Convention and rules of war. So yeah, for your little boy, I would agree, but I'm still having all of you investigated. Because I tell you that I'm certain they had some kind of meth lab under St. Peter Street. What you call it? The St. Peter Street maisonette that my sister Jacqueline and the then rapist boy partner. Because I saw him. He actually was intending on raping my sister right in front of me, in which he did begin to do, and I had to fight him off her. And then my sister Jacqueline and him, they both turned on me. It was only when she realised the consequences that she decided to stop him from cutting my throat. That was my sister Jacqueline. So I'm the only one in the family that's not interested in doing drugs in any sense. I'll only take medical treatment. But I don't like the things that these drugs do to people's minds, let alone others around it. But obviously I'm a victim of this since a child. And the establishments here in the UK have aided and abetted these people, and they are equal partners in a criminal enterprise that also involves international child sex trafficking, rape and murder of children and young and old people. And I'm still being refused my right to access justice, and these things are ongoing. See, when you're denied justice for just one thing, that is an open case for eternity. Okay, you can say even eternity, long after all life has been extinguished, it's still a case that was ignored, and that is a criminal. That is a criminal offence, a human rights offence, and it could even be, and especially in my case, a war crime. So she is familiar, and you can actually look at her and think, well, doesn't that look like Emmanuel Macron's wife?
Badenoch says crimes must carry consequences.
Well, they do, and we have, or they should. So what we should, like I said, she needs to be investigated because I recognise her. I want her arrested. Okay, as she seems to be the head of that beast, the head of that snake or criminal enterprise, I want her arrested. So there's a huge picture there, a huge picture full of lots of little things. So there you have it. Never ignore the little things, or you will never ever see the big picture. That female at the back with the glasses is
Galbraith was
there. I think I identified her coming down the stairs already. So let's see. Tate. I kept spelling Tate before.
And the truth of the innocence and the reasons why they should be released will be so overwhelming.
That black guy's familiar. And he's got the zirconian or diamond studs in his ears. And that is also, I know for a fact, that is part of the sex trade. It's a militant wing or services wing of a pedophile network, in my opinion. And I recognize someone like that already working in South America, but also in Joe Biden's staff. Not his, I don't think it was his personal staff. It was the support staff within the White House. I recognized them right away. There's also people that are Chinese, Japanese, and other ethnicities from Australasia, Indonesia, and that were in the riots. You didn't get to see them, but they were there. One of them might actually have been a male impersonator or just an effeminate Asian person, like Oriental. So here, let's have a look.
Female Japanese gangs.
This one too.
Have you ever heard of Subban? They are female gangs from Japan in the 60s and 70s.
There. They would fit. And the NATO would NATO is always into these people. You see, NATO and intelligence service, they always want the foot in that door. They always want to be in there with these people, and they will even begin gangs, and that's what I'm telling you.
And the truth of the innocence and the reasons why they should be released.
That zirconian stud is part of the military and civil police and in other services. So say you fall foul to some extent and they have to kick you out. That's where you go. You go into a specialist unit, if not already there. But if you're already there, you're not getting kicked out, are you? Very rare for them to. If you're a police officer and you rape and murder someone, they'll cover it up. They'll help you cover it up. Even if they have to go to a funeral director in Hull and start cremating all the victims, especially in recent times. I mean, there was a guy there who's got that many bodies backed up that you need to ask people, was his lung working? Or was he actually going somewhere else? Had he actually taken his operation elsewhere and was too busy cremating other things or even making other things elsewhere? So there you have it, a government institution. And it's not just black people, it's white, indigenous, Scots. And that I can show you quite simply with another one of my abusers. There's Farage. So I do recognize the backer for Farage. I do recognize, there's no doubt. Any familiars? One at least. But it's good, you know, I mean, it's kind of strange. That marina might be of interest. So there. But here you have it. Look, the establishment He's another one. This is I recognise some of these people as well, including the storyline here. Old Giggling. That's another one, and there's transport involved as well. But here, I recognise him as well. There. You see? The ear stud. Some of them, it depends, some have black. Some of them wear black rings. It's also the media as well. Don't forget the media. So he has been a problem for me. And he's connected to my family all the way back to, I believe, the 1960s, even 50s. Right, so no one wants to do anything for me, but I've got everything you need. But you don't want anything to do with me. So I recognise this woman as well, and that one, and that one. So they all have to be, there's quite a few faces I've already identified, potentially that one too. And I'm nowhere with my case because of the corruption, the ongoing corruption in all of the United Kingdom and European. Also Christiania. I'm going to include that one before I shut down. I'm getting a headache. Something I said as a child. These people have been here in recent years 2000. Starting to see some faces here. See, they might even put old people up on this. That I recognise. So that they're women. This does seem to be familiar. Yeah, she's familiar. Definitely 100% certain. That guy's familiar. One in the bookshop. Could even be the woman as well. Yeah, she seems familiar. Yeah, they love their books. They're always keen to read, but they're not so keen to let their victims read. You see, I remember even as a child, I could go through a book in a day, but only if they let me. And they were paedophiles, so do you honestly think they would? And there's people like this here. Careful, because I think there's more to this than you think. And I've even gone back on something like shop fronts here near Lady Lawson Street or on Lady Lawson Street, Hope Street, mainly Bread Street. That's what Dr. Kirk was saying. She was going to go back to the trinkets, selling trinkets like costume jewellery. But seeing amongst the costume jewellery, even people that don't realise it, there's some very, very expensive antiques and valued items even that aren't even antiques in amongst those items. So be careful, watch these people. They pretend to be trendy people. It's like a safe haven for criminals that are in no way intending to change their ways. So it's like this guy, I don't know if I think I might have shut down, but these two, he is familiar, that one, Montgomery. Just seems one. Tim Montgomery, yeah. He's familiar as well as an abuser. So is it back this way? No. But they like to wear leather. These two as well. I recognise them both. And I even sometimes think this is a female impersonator. But this one too, definitely I've seen that one. Him as well, and I believe the woman as well. I think he's actually been on one of my cases. So he could, if he was investigating that case, he could have been killed accidentally, quite genuinely accidentally, because he's a co-conspirator. He was part of that criminal enterprise. And with my case, and I get the people, even the Maxwell Comfort people, the prison officers, the hospital staff with the Comfort case, the accused, and the solicitors and others, I'll guarantee that's a huge net. That is going to be more than one fleet ever assembled by, the United Kingdom, Scotland, that many nets worldwide, or more, actually. My case is going to bag them all, including the Murdochs.